Hello, people. How are you guys doing? Please let me know if you can hear me and if you are still here. Okay, Paula, I guess you guys can hear me. I just quickly jumped on. Ishpreet is having technical difficulties, so I'm completely unprepared for this live. So we're going to go slightly off topic, and I'm going to involve you guys a lot in answering questions, and let's just have a great discussion going along about a fixed mindset and a growth mindset. Paul has given us, for those who have seen his life last week, we did the test on the difference with a fixed mindset and a growth mindset. So we're going to talk about fixed and growth mindsets today. I think the topic today was how it saved my job, or how you can implement it in your work. So let's try and stick with the topic as far as possible. How important is having a growth mindset for you in your job, in your life? I know I've had that before. If I didn't have a growth mindset, I would not have grown in becoming from a normal working person as a cashier, eventually moving to the floor on the retail side, and then basically moving on into a management position. That would never have happened if I had a closed mindset or fixed mindset, not to learn further or not willing to go any further. I would like to get your comments on this. Have you implemented in your life? Have you used it to grow in positions that you were in before? Or did you have that fixed mindset and you stayed in the same position for a very long time? How has it influenced your working life, in your career? Priya, let me see what you're saying here. This is also the first time I'm doing this, so I'm learning as I'm going along. Priya is saying a growth mindset helps us to learn new things and move ahead. Yeah, exactly. My point is, if I didn't have that growth mindset, personally, I would have been stuck in one place. And also, another factor on that is when you don't have a growth mindset and things in your workplace changes, or you change jobs from one place to another, and you have to adapt to new systems, new technology. If you don't have that growth mindset, you're not going to learn the new things fast, and you're going to be stuck. So it's important to nurture that growth mindset and to grow, and not to be stuck with a fixed mindset. Paula, I'm going to throw your comment next. It's a bit weird talking just to myself or not hearing you guys. Paula is saying taking on more responsibility. Yes, that is definitely a characteristic of a growth mindset and not fixed. Because if you've got a fixed mindset, you're going to be, this is what I'm going to do, and this is my job description. I'm not going anywhere outside of that description. And yeah, you're not going to learn. So for us to have a growth mindset or to switch to a growth mindset, we need to evolve, and we need to do reading. We need to push our own limits, as to say, rather than not pushing ourselves. Vina, you have got, just going to put you up here. Vina saying, fixed mindset doesn't allow us to venture into something new. Exactly. So if you're in that fixed mindset, you're going to stay stagnant. You're not going to grow. You're not going to see even what's out there. You're not going to go further in your life if you're not willing to learn and if you're not willing to change. Priya, I agree. Adapting is so important. I found a lot of older people find it hard to adapt to technology, and thus they are stuck in the old world. Exactly. I know with my parents, they're also old. Um, they they work phones, but they don't have that ability to do the little bit further. They still call the young people to come and assist them because their mindset is so fixed. My mom personally also says to me, I've got my ways and I'm not going to change. This is how I do it. And that is part of a fixed mindset. She cannot be flexible and she can't adapt. And it makes life harder for all of us if you have that mindset, because her way is her way. We can't teach her something new. It's like she's sort of stuck in that mindset and she's not willing to budge. So it's taking a lot of time and effort, not effort as much, but a lot of talking nice and trying to explain to her, but this is maybe a shorter way or a more easier way. And that can hinder you in life, not even only in your job, but also in life in general. Okay, so everyone is agreeing with me. Paula, you saying my siblings are like that. So you're saying your siblings are basically in that fixed mindset. And that brings us to the importance of flexibility and adaptability. How flexible are we? Are we willing to learn? Are we willing to go out and change? Or are we rather want to stay in the background and keep to ourselves? What are we willing to do? How flexible can you be? Life throws us curveballs all the time. And if you can't do that flexibility, can we say that? So I'm going to ask you this question. Can we say it is a fixed mindset or do you have a growth mindset? If you are not flexible and able to adapt, where does that leave you? So I'm going to wait for your answers on this. Paula, you also saying here, your siblings that are the most unhealthy too. Yes, because we're not willing to change. We're not even willing to change our diets with that fixed mindset. So you just go on the train and you continue and you continue. But if you have that growth mindset, you will learn that, listen, I want to get more healthier, but I need to take those steps. Where can I improve? I can take my son for that, for example, there. He came to me and he said to me, I'm underweight. I said to him, okay, I didn't take it too seriously. And he came to me one morning and he said to me, listen, I want to go to gym. I need to change my diet. And I just looked at the chart and I'm like, seriously? Where do you get your information from? And he came and he gave me a diet worked out. He went and he did his research. So he had that growth mindset to grow. Go change my diet. I need to exercise. He's normally in front of the TV playing his games. And to me, it showed he's growing. And he's got the mind and he goes and investigates and comes back with answers to me. He doesn't come to me with a problem, he comes to me with a solution. And he said to me, this is what I need to do, and this is what I'm planning to do. He had his whole plan, and since he started going to gym, every day at the same time, he goes, he comes back, and I need to prepare and get him the food that he requires now to reach his goal that he set himself. So to me, that shows growth mindset. He went out and actually did research. If he was in a fixed mindset, he would have stayed in front of his TV, would have stayed in front of his games, and continued on his merry way. But he had the growth mindset to say, I need to do something, and I need to make a plan. Okay, so going back to my question, Paula agrees that's a fixed mindset. Priya is agreeing it's a fixed mindset. Guys, if you've got any questions, you can ask me questions. As I said, I'm totally unprepared for what we're talking here. I didn't prepare anything because unfortunately, Split had the technical difficulties, and we didn't want to leave you guys not having the live as we promised you, being totally open and honest with you. So at the moment, I'm just getting you all involved here, and let's learn together and let's grow together. So your feedback would be much appreciated. Questions that we could all answer together. Let's make this time worthwhile. As you can see, I don't even, my hair is not even done properly, so we can all have a laugh about that. But as Coaching Minds, we won't drop you on a live. I'm doing my first one, and I just jumped in and I did it. Yeah, I'm coming to your comment now. A lot of times I get feedback that I am too young to give advice or even share my wisdom. Priya, I would say that comes from a person with a fixed mindset, because it's been how you've been brought up and how you were taught, and they don't grow. This is how it is. A lot of things with my parents, my school, even my work situation, people have that fixed mindset. For us, it's important to be able to identify it, if it's a fixed or growth mindset. I tried to implement new things in my previous employment, and they were so fixed on their ways, they didn't want to see any new ways. So, yeah, you've got a lot of wisdom in you, and your feedback that you give to people is tremendous and is of value. So never sell yourself short. And remember, whenever someone says something to you, it's what's going on inside of them that's coming out. It is not you. And I normally, I don't take these things personally. But yeah, as I said, that definitely is from a person's perspective that's got a fixed mindset. Vina, if we want things to be different, we need to change the way we see and experience things. Exactly. Experience is another great example, because you can have all the experience in the job that you are familiar with, but you're not willing to learn the newer part of it. You're not willing to learn new technologies. You are not willing to learn new programs. So you are going to be stagnant at the end of the day. We have to evolve and have those experiences with us and go out and do things. And you need to change your way. That to me, Vina, is very important, is to change the way that you are thinking. And you have to change your mindset. And you need to be willing to grow and learn. And let's discuss where we can learn things from. If you can give me your comments, I would say I do a lot of YouTube videos that I go and watch, podcasts that I go and listen to, just normal research that I do daily. And all that is changing my mindset to learn more and to go out and do things and try different things and not just only try the normal things. Vina, I'm laughing at your comment, but as I said, I did not prepare for this at all. I jumped up like in the last few minutes. But thank you. If I look cute, I'm scaring myself here for a moment here. Paula, Priya, you are definitely a growth mindset. and with a lot of wisdom, and you can articulate yourself very well. Yes, Paul, I totally agree with you. I've known Priya for, I think it's 2 or 3 years now, and the change that I've seen in her and her willingness to learn new things and try new things. She's done a lot of things that I haven't done. We can talk about Daniel's video that you guys worked with. I mean, you guys stepped up and you said, we don't know how, but we will do it. And that birthday video came out perfectly. And really, thank you guys for stepping up and doing that. And I'm sure both of you learned a lot through that process. I need to just share your knowledge with us so we can all learn it. Vina, my mom has a fixed mindset on how things should be, and that is creating problems. Totally agree with you, Vina. I can sympathize with you 100%. Um, they are just not willing to change. They're set in their ways. It's the ways they were brought up. And it's difficult to change people on their older age. But it would be lovely if they do listen and learn from that. Okay. Priya says, thank you so much, Adele. I try to distance myself as they try to manipulate and criticize. I had a similar experience with mom. Yeah, I think all of us with older parents will have these issues because they were brought up in a time period where they weren't really encouraged to grow or encouraged to learn new things. So yeah, I can understand that. I can resonate with that. Okay. Priya, how to put a twist to making tasty curry, and she was adamant to not change her recipe. Yeah, that I think we all sit with it with parents not changing recipes or trying something new. Um, that's a double knife edge for me because where does that go? Is that fixed mindset or leaning towards a growth mindset? Because some parents, or especially older ladies, their recipes is their recipe. Do not change it. Although there's newer methods and easier methods, they will stick with what they know because it's the recipe. I heard a story a while ago regarding something in this way, and I don't want to lie and talk stories, but it was a whole thing about a recipe, how you could change it, and not willing to change the recipe. Disaster stuff. Um, it's not food wise, but you can relate it to your situations in life. Sometimes we are so stuck on we're going to do this today, it's going to go this way, and we are planning this. I've done that with my job. I was fixed. This is what I'm going to do, this is how we're going to do it. And at the end of the day, I dug my heels in through stubbornness and I learned my lesson the hard way because I didn't want to grow and I didn't want to accept people's input. There I was in a very fixed mindset, and I can admit to that. Paula, you're saying it is important to keep our minds open and not become judgmental also. Exactly. Um, because if you start judging people, that's going to put you in a fixed mindset. Because you can learn from someone else. And it's, if we're not willing to open our mind and really listen to other people, you're not going to learn. You're going to have your view and your perspective, although you could learn something more from other people. Um, so yeah, that comes to open your mind and don't judge people for the way they do things. Rather take the lesson from that. Go and reflect on it, on how they've done it, and see how you can improve. Paula, for me, I couldn't change my siblings, but I could change my perspective. And eventually they saw me doing well, and that influenced my niece in a positive way. Paula, that's great. That is absolutely amazing that you could do that. Um, and you can see the results. I'm trying to do similar things in my current situation where I stay. Um, and I can see small changes now and again, and then people slip back because they don't have the growth mindset. This just actually hit me. They're still in that fixed mindset. Vina, the same here. I'm not able to change my siblings and my husband's mindset. I have moved on changing mine. Exactly. It comes back to that saying where they say if a plant doesn't grow in the environment, you change the environment. Something in that way, I can't remember the exact words now. So that means if you're not growing, change your environment, change your mindset. Be that leader, be that example. People will see how well you do. But also, there's that saying that says you can't get someone to listen to a message they're not ready to receive. And it takes time and reflection. And yeah, time and reflection from their side. And we can't rush the time. Everyone grows in their own time. So I don't think we must be too harsh and judging people because they're not listening to you immediately or they don't see it. But you must also not take the negativity and stop your own growth. Change your, like Rina is saying, she changed her mindset and she's moving along and she's learning. And we've seen you in the last few months. I've seen a tremendous change. Your wisdom that you share is absolutely amazing. Paula saying, that's great, Vina. Um, this is absolutely amazing, Paula. Your niece Tammy saw, my niece Tammy saw me and joined Wisdom Creators. So happy for you, Paula. You're really, really making a difference wherever you go. Um, Priya, action speaks louder than louder. I've learned to take one step at a time too, and not doing it for others, but doing it for myself. Yes, I think that is a form of a growth mindset um, because you're doing it for yourself. You're willing to change. You want to grow. You want to go places. And yeah, action speaks louder than words. That to me is setting that example. You're going places. We're all going places. We're all starting to learn. We're all pushing our boundaries. We're increasing our knowledge, our wisdom. We're sharing. So yeah, that is absolutely like a crucial point is to show people through your actions and your words and what you share. And eventually people will listen to you. Eventually they'll say, you know what? That person's making a difference, not only to yourself, but to many others. Okay, guys, your comments are slowing down. So I want to ask you a question. What do you think? How can you, in other ways, influence a person with a fixed mindset, other than through your actions and what you say? How can you influence that person? Paul, I just read your comment. Thank you very much. But I want you guys to let's share some ideas on how you can try and help a person with a fixed mindset to be more open to receiving feedback and receiving that guidance that we want to give them. Okay, now they're silent. It's difficult talking to myself. It's not like we're having a conversation. So what I do with my mom, I just talk to her, and sometimes I'm just straight with her, and I say to her, listen, there's other methods, there is other ways to do things, and I would do it. I would go and I would just go ahead and do it my way, and then say to see, same thing, same result, maybe in a shorter period of time. Priya, you're saying get them more involved. Yes, involve them in what you are doing, but in a very subtle way, because you get people that will get stubborn like me and rebellious, because I know that I can do that. And that's a form of a fixed mindset, that stubbornness. You must let go of that, detach from it, and take it from other people and learn from it. In a like-minded community, absolutely. Um, Especially if you're battling in your area with your direct family. Like I've stepped out of my comfort zone and my environment, rather more online and connecting with people that understands me a little bit better. Um, so yeah, I agree with that one, Priya. Like-minded community, get your support. Paula, I think when we get them involved with something we do, maybe they can see it from a different perspective. Exactly. I'm very set on perspective. Everything I do, I go back and I change my perspective. And I think that gives you that growth mindset. And changing your perspective and getting someone else to change their perspective and show them is a key point. And that can move them from that fixed mindset to a growth mindset, is just through your influence and by getting them involved. Oh, Paula, that's just so funny because I look horrendous today. Um, and now I think Frank might be laughing seeing me like this. Um, but it's actually funny. We can all have a laugh. Just tell him I've got that growth mindset today and I'm just jumping in and doing this live unprepared. Sometimes I feel like I'm winging it, but I want you guys to get involved and let's share ideas on and the difference between fixed and mindset. If you've got another perspective on it, please share it. I would love to see that. Vina saying making them analyze their actions and reason them out. Yeah, reason them out and having them reflect on their actions. That can do a great difference. But as I keep on saying, be very succulent. I know sometimes with my mom, I'm harsh and I'm straight to the point. Not so much with my kids, but with my mom, I just tell her straight. Because I find with her, if I talk straight, she understands me better. With other people, you come with a wide circle, that wide turn, and you reach them eventually. Okay, I'm trying to keep up with these comments. So, you're saying making them analyze their actions and reason them out and see how their thinking is affecting things. Absolutely. You you basically reflect on what they do and how they think will show you what what outcome it has, and how it affected the situation. Absolutely agree with you on that. Um, Paula, you're saying I wouldn't even try that during this life. I'm not sure what you're referring to. Um, okay, wait, I'm doing things wrong here. You are doing a wonderful job. Thank you, Paula. So yeah, have you got any views on a fixed mindset or a growth mindset, um, other than what I'm busy talking? And let's go back to your career, how it can influence your career. Um, Fixed mindset, growth mindset. I've been through moving from different positions, different retail jobs. I mean, retail stays the same, but the product changes. And I went from selling travel goods, books, and locks and key locks for suitcases and things like that, and travel books. I went over to a sports shop. And if I didn't have that growth mindset, I would not have learned everything in such a short period of time that I had to learn. I mean, I walked in there and I just saw cricket bats and they all looked the same to me. And eventually someone took me and they said to me, no, you actually get different sizes. I'm like, okay, I never knew that. And I've learned a lot when I was looking in that store about different size bats, different new systems. If I was not open to learn, I would have been stuck. I've actually helped the lady. She said to me, okay, we ran out of barcodes because she purchased barcodes from a company. And one day I just sat and I just fiddled, and I started making our own barcodes. I just started with 000 numbers. And I started labeling the stuff and I gave it to her and she said to me, but how did you do it? Does it scan? I said, yeah, I've tested everything is working fine. If I was in that fixed mindset, I would have sat maybe a month, 2 months waiting for barcodes and battling to ring things up. And I had mindset to go and learn and try new things. That's another thing of a growth mindset, try new things. You can't just be stuck with one thing. And from sports, I went over to clothing, which is another thing. I've actually learned how to, in my first week, one guy came to me and says to me, no, the hanger must face this way and it must be this way and you must do it this way. And if I didn't want to learn, I would have continued on my old ways and just followed my own head. And things would have been in a mess if I didn't listen to what a person in a lower position than me has to say. It comes to also accepting and taking others' comments and advice and guidance in situations. That also is a form of a growth mindset. Because if it's fixed, you're not going to listen to anyone because you already know everything. And I've got that mindset. We never know enough. Going back to your comments. Priya, you're saying it's a difficult one, but consistency is key. Absolutely. You have to be consistent. Paula, I wouldn't have had the mindset that I could write a book if I hadn't been faced with so many challenges and had the feedback of a trusted community. Absolutely, Paula, I agree with you. Same with me with articles. I never wrote. It's only with Coaching Minds that when we started, we decided we're going to write articles. And I just went for it and I decided I'm going to try. If there's mistakes, people can always check what I'm writing. So yeah, Paula, you absolutely have a growth mindset as well. We've known each other for, it feels like ages, not years. And I've seen the change in you and how you've grown, and you just totally stepped up and out of your comfort zone. And really shown your growth to all of us. And yes, this trusted community is doing a lot for us. I had to unlearn a lot to change my mindset. Exactly. Unlearning can't be a fixed mindset. Um, that definitely is a growth mindset because you have to unlearn bad habits. You have to unlearn ways, fixed ways that you were taught as from a child how to do things. Um, and that can also hinder you in every way of life. It can hinder you in your personal life, it can hinder you in your family life, it can hinder you in your work life if you are not willing to unlearn bad habits or unlearn things that you think you know everything. There's one thing um, that to me also says fixed and growth mindset is as soon as you say, but I already know that, or if I've already heard that, that is fixed mindset. Because it can be the same thing that you can always learn something new from that same thing. That's been shown to me so many times. And that comes back to the employment I was in before. They weren't willing to learn new things. I came from a different company, also clothing, over to them with new ideas, and it was not allowed. It was no, this doesn't work for us. This is the way we do it. And it caused a lot of friction because they weren't accepting to learn. They weren't accepting to take other people's guidance or even input. They were stuck in their old ways. So for me, that whole company was in a fixed mindset. They weren't in a growth mindset. They wanted to grow their sales, but the mindset was fixed on how they do things. So how can you grow if you're not willing to take on new ideas? Guys, now you talking, Vina, you saying your writings, Vina, your writings are so beautiful and inspiring. Paula, that is what Vina's writing recently. Um, even everything Vina even shared yesterday in the um, book club session was absolutely amazing. That I called it wisdom bombs that she threw out, and I think everyone took something away from what Vina was sharing. You must share more of your poetry, Vina. I haven't seen much. Um, Priya's also saying, "Oh yes, Paula, the poetry is amazing. Such a talent. She's discovered a short span of time." So, Vina, you must share more. We want to see those poems and poetry that you're writing. Priya, fixed mindset overall will always be left. You will always be left behind. Exactly. You're going to be stuck. Everyone is going to go forward, and you're going to be stuck in your own same place. You'll be stuck in your same position. You will be stuck in the same job. You will not grow. You will not go further. Even if you go to a new place, you must be able and willing to learn new things. If someone comes from another company, for instance, to where you are, accept what they're sharing with you. Learn from it because you can always learn something new. It might be the same thing, but you can learn something new. So this live is going to go a little bit short because it's a bit unprepared. Rina, just want to share what you're saying here. I feel I should sometimes thank the dark phase that completely changed my mindset. Absolutely. It comes back even with me. If it wasn't for my past, I wouldn't have been where I am today. And all I can say is I'm grateful for that because I was stuck for a very long time. For years, I was stuck. and unhappy, but you didn't realize why you were so unhappy. And now at the end of the day, I'm actually grateful and I'm happy and for everything that happened, all the dark stuff. So yeah, I resonate with you completely on that, Rina. Um, it has changed my mindset too. Is there any final thoughts from you guys that you would like to share? Um, and I do apologize for not being prepared, but I really didn't want to let you guys not benefit a little bit of conversation and a little bit of input, although I was not prepared on the topic. But I think we all shared something that someone, even it's a tiny, minute thing that someone could take away from this, the 40 minutes that we've been on. And I really want to thank you guys for sticking around and waiting until we've sorted these speech technical difficulties out. Um, and she is going to have to jump on and fill in the live with what she wanted to share about how her mindset was affected by a job in her career. I think that was the topic for today. Vina, I know you do a lot of work. How has a growth mindset or a fixed mindset affected you in your career? If you can maybe give us some feedback on that. Um, yeah, Paula, and I'm looking forward to finally reading your book. So, Vina is saying, instead of saying things are not working, we need to think how to make it work. Exactly. It is that think outside of the box. Um, I do that with my mom often, and I say to them, you can't just think. I normally do this. I said, you can't think like this. You need to think like this. Broaden your spectrum, and you will grow, and things will go better. But you just seeing things one way. You need to look at different from different angles and different views and different perspectives, and grow from that. Priya, you're saying open your windows to let in the fresh air. Keep our growth like breathing fresh air. I love the way you put that, Priya. You need to save that for us so we can use that later on. It's a beautiful point and beautifully stated. Thank you. You know, you're saying absolutely, Adele, it's one of the nice ways of forgiving, forgetting, and to move on. Absolutely. Um, yeah, it took a long time for me to get there. And I cut a lot of people off and I cut a lot of people out. And I got financial benefits off, but it was for the well-being of myself. And I'd say I'd rather struggle in a financial way than struggle every month fighting and getting negativity into my life. And I just cut it off. I said, that's it. No more. And I know the best is yet to come. And if I had that fixed mindset, I would have still been fighting every month for my child's maintenance or child support. And I'm not doing that anymore. I'm standing on my own 2 feet and we are happier. And that negativity is gone. And to me, that's also like a growth mindset. I don't know if that's fixed fighting mindset. I think forgave the person. Forgetting is the hard part. But moving on for me was key. And I've moved on. And I think if it wasn't for my mindset and the guidance from everyone close to me that gave me that guidance and advice, not advice, it was more guidance. I made the decision at the end of the day myself. And yeah, it's had a great benefit for me. And moving on is such a key. But yeah, I would say for this week, let's go out and learn something new. Go listen to a new podcast. Go and reflect on things that you are currently dealing with. If it's a fixed mindset, is it a growth mindset? Where are you leaning towards, and how can you change it? That's my little bit of takeaway for you for this week. Let's go and reflect on our mindsets, and not just your mindset, but go in detail. Go on something that you are dealing with and see how you can grow from it and how you can change it or change your perspective on it. And let's just go try and touch one person this week and with their mindset. Even if they do a post, give them that little bit of positivity. Give them a different perspective. I often do that in posts. And then I give that to them. And I give just them that different perspective. And I've had a lot of people thank me for that because they stuck. And that little bit of just a difference can open their minds. Paula, you're saying forgetting is not possible for me, but learning to manage triggers does work. Exactly. Um, I'm on that same path now where when I feel a certain way, I go and I look at the trigger. And that goes back to that wheel I shared in our community, in my circle, that wheel that I've shared, and that tree that I've shared with the positives and negatives. I go back to that, and I've actually seen where my triggers is coming from and when it happens, and I can go to the root now because that has been a great benefit for me. Priya, you're saying I'm going to do that. Thank you so much, Priya. Looking forward to your feedback on that. What are you saying? I think we put too much pressure on ourselves when we confuse forgiveness and forgetting. I think you were saying judging for me. I agree with you. We put a lot of pressure on ourselves. Um, it's hard to forget, but if you forgive, I feel you are free. Forgetting takes time, but forgiveness, you can. It took me a long time, but I got there. Um, yeah, but don't put yourself under pressure because it will come at the right time. When you are ready, it will happen. Um, but I agree with you. Forgiveness and forgetting, we mustn't confuse the two. Certain things you can't forget, but you can forgive, and you can manage. You can release that pressure on you. Don't put yourself under pressure because you're going to make yourself unhappy. Um, so yeah, I've left you with my final thought. Let's go touch someone this week. Let's go learn something new, and let's share it in posts and how you touch, how you can change perspective. Let's go and reflect on our mindsets and see where we can improve from a fixed, move from, not improve, where you can move from a fixed mindset to a growth mindset. Also, certain things in your life that you're dealing with. For instance, I had insurance claim papers that I needed to complete. I don't want to complete it because it's medical terms and they've got my medical files. And it took me 2 weeks to just complete the form. I didn't complete it properly. I put my feedback there. I said, I don't have my medical file. I can't give you dates of 5, 6 years ago. But I did my forms. I closed that loop. And to me, that was growth. Because first of all, I was really stubborn. But I did it at the end of the day. And I feel lighter. I feel relieved. There's a pressure off my shoulders. And I had to move from that fixed mindset of I'm not going to do it to, okay, I will do it. Let me just please you. So that's the type of thing that I say, let's go and reflect and move certain things from fixed to growth. I think we can all do that. Guys, I want to thank you for your time, and I really do appreciate it. that you guys stayed on and engaged with me during this live, uh, and for supporting me. Although I was not prepared, and I'm being totally honest with you guys. But I think we all really shared something and we all really got to take something away. Really, I want to thank you guys, and I'm sending much love to you all. And then speak to you soon. Thank you, guys.